If you clicked on this video, you might be wondering what makes a bus stop bad. Perhaps it's the lack of a bus shelter, especially on a rainy day. Perhaps it is confusing or non-existent signage, which apparently is a thing for some bus riders in Ocean and Monmouth counties in New Jersey. But if these are bus stops that you can easily and safely walk to, they are still better bus stops than the ones I'm talking about today. Yes, the bar is that low. In particular, I'm going to talk about bus stops where you need to put your life on the line just to get to them, and bus stops that you simply cannot get to if you have mobility limitations. In other words, bus stops that are just about unusable. Some of you may have thought that I was exaggerating when I made my life on the line comment just now, but really, I'm not. Just look at the bus stops at the intersection of Derry Street and Lincoln Avenue in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area. For the record, this is an area I'm pretty familiar with, as I visited grandparents not far from here several times a year for over 2 decades. The bus stop on the north side of the intersection is bad enough, for the only place to conceivably wait is on the shoulder of a really busy Derry Street. I would argue that this bus stop is kind of dangerous. But this bus stop is a walk in the park compared to the bus stop on the south side of the street. First of all, because all the housing is on the north side of Derry Street, chances are that you have to cross the street without the assistance of any stop sign or traffic light to get to or from the bus stop. And with traffic A, being busy, and B, going at 35 miles per hour or more, what this means is that if you want to get on or off the bus here, you basically need to put your life on the line just to take the bus. Crossing Derry Street without a light is that dangerous. And once you put your life on the line to cross Derry Street, you then just have to hope that you're crossing the street to head home, rather than to head away from home. Because if you have to wait at this bus stop to catch a bus, while surrounded by tall grass, it seems like a risk for ticks at some times of year. I wish that stops like these two on Derry Street were outliers in the Harrisburg area, let alone the United States. But unfortunately, they're not outliers. Bus stops that are inaccessible and or downright dangerous to access are commonplace, both in Harrisburg's bus system and with buses that run in many American suburban areas. I know that because it actually wasn't lousy Harrisburg area bus stops that inspired this video. It was passing by a bus stop on the outskirts of Richmond, Virginia. A bus stop that looks something like this. It's a bus stop that doesn't even have any sidewalk nearby. A bus stop where you have to walk on the grass to the side of US 1, which doesn't seem exactly safe. But even if it were safe, it's not really accessible for people with a variety of mobility limitations. Expanding beyond the East Coast, there are some sorry bus stops from other parts of the country exposed by Streets blog in a couple of its sorriest bus stop awards, the most recent of them being in 2021. One of the bus stops exposed in the 2021 edition of the award was this bus stop by a patch of sand in a small town near Riverside, California. SoCal viewers, if you thought that I was letting your region off free here, think again. Oh, and by the way, if any Streets blog staff is watching this video, please consider all of the bus stops I mentioned here as nominations for your next Sorriest Bus Stop Award. Even in my hometown of New York, there are inaccessible and dangerous bus stops in the more suburban parts of the city. When even New York City, the mass transit capital of the United States, has inaccessible and or downright dangerous bus stops themselves, then you know it's a big problem in the entire United States. And this American problem makes life difficult. not just for prospective bus riders, but for transit agencies as well. Here's why. If your transit agency's bus stops are difficult or impossible to get to, ridership at some of your bus stops is going to suffer. And because of that lower bus ridership, your transit agency ends up getting less revenue from fares, which in turn has a negative impact on a transit agency's revenue stream from fares. So, if it is in the best interest of mass transit agencies to have sidewalks and usable pedestrian intersections at and near bus stops, why don't the transit agencies just build them? The short answer is that, in many places, the entity running the buses is entirely separate from the entity responsible for ensuring the building and maintenance of sidewalks. Basically, I'm saying that no matter how much some of these transit agencies want walkable areas near their bus stops, they often don't have the power to make this possible. The one exception to this that I can think of is if a certain municipality's buses are run by a local Department of Transportation, all the while said local Department of Transportation would be responsible for any sidewalks. But regardless of where the responsibility is for improving walkability near bus stops, I think that cities, towns, and counties need to prioritize this. Because, after all, making it possible for someone to get to a bus stop will increase the number of people taking the bus. And increasing the number of people taking the bus would get more of us out of cars, thus improving traffic. Instead of transit planners trying to and failing at reducing traffic by building one more traffic lane, maybe we should try and reduce traffic by building one more sidewalk, especially when the sidewalk is near a bus stop. All we need is one more sidewalk. Maybe that would fix traffic. If you have any thoughts on this subject, or if you'd like to nominate a bus stop for being among the worst in America, please make sure to do that in the comment section below. Make sure to also like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on imagining better mass transit in the United States. Thank you, and have a good day.